This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Save this story. I want to get Larry Wilmore's comment on this.
All right.
You know, and he's about to walk in right now. I'm opening up the phone lines right now. Larry Wilmore is here, ladies and gentlemen. 888-742-3345. Here he is.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, man. Come on in, man.
Nice to meet you.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Larry.
Damn, man.
Hey,
this is so great, man. Larry is on this show, man, and I swear, man, I love your show, man. I love all the work you do. And
Oh, thanks.
yeah, man. And always, you know, I have to say this. I don't want to marginalize you, man, but being a
Marginalized. It's early.
fellow black guy, I always like watching black guys on TV. And and I was late this morning, and you were late this morning, and we both had that in common, man. And that might just be that black thing, that blackish. That's blackish, right?
You know,
Exactly. It's blackish. And I did the show called the PJs. And
the PJs, yeah.
the newspaper was called CP Times. That was the name of the newspaper.
The CP Times.
CP Times, man. Brothers got to be on CP Times.
True to form. Larry Wilmore is here. Hey, all right. 888-742-3345. Man, you came right in the middle of our celebrity wire, man. And
cool.
You always have an interesting perspective on things. So we want to chime in on that. All right. So
cool.
Now, Tracy, this is Heather B. Right here.
How's it going?
Okay, that's Tracy G. And Tracy, we were just talking about
Bill Cosby and how his legacy just continues to erode, man. You want to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. So we already know the long list of women. It's like a Pied Piper line. I believe it's over the 40 number mark. And now another woman.
I think it's close to 50.
50.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yikes. Okay, so 10 more. That's even worse than I had it in my head. Another one, 51. Her name is Linda Ridgway White Deer. Now, it looks like she's going to be doing an interview with Dr. Phil. And she probably has the most horrific tale that allegedly went down with Cosby. Now, at the time, this is going back to 1971. She was on a movie set. She met Cosby. Obviously, you know, she's an actress. She said that she followed him down a corridor. He opened the door, and there is this chair. I'm reading direct quotes, and it was just right in the doorway, out of place. And I thought he was going to move it out of the way. Instead, he said, "Have a seat." He seemed to be in a hurry. I never got to move because his hand came around to the back of my head, and as I looked up, he was exposing his genitals, and he was right in my face.
Wow.
But then it gets more
He did
graphic.
that while she was still awake?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a different MO.
while she was still awake, right?
But here's the wildest side. Wait for part 2.
Oh, okay.
She says when you're shocked, you open your mouth a little bit. She says
Well,
that
he was counting on that. Right.
She says that was my mistake. And then he just made this horrible mess all over me. That was the hardest part. He grabbed a wad of Kleenex. And then at the end of it all, he said, "I've blessed you now. You know you've been blessed."
Wait,
Wow.
Did he jack off on her? Or?
Ejaculated. Yup.
See, the pudding pop has to spill all over you in order for you to be blessed.
Wow.
That's just disgusting.
Yo, that
There
is.
was another woman who said the same thing.
He blessed her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole blessing thing, I don't understand that. Was that like a 70s move that just kind of people just stopped doing or something?
Yeah, right. But he blessed her. That's like baptizing.
Everybody did that in the 70s. I mean, I don't know why people are so upset. I don't know what the deal is with this.
I love your bill, but let me ask you this, man, because the political arena feels like a circus right now, you know,
It is.
in many ways. And, you know, first Donald Trump and first Sarah Palin,
Yeah.
Donald Trump, and, you know, now Kanye is going to run for office.
Right.
What is, if Bill Cosby decided to run for president?
Get out of here.
Come on, man.
You don't think he can't get votes?
No, he can't even run for dog catcher at this point. I mean, Cosby's through. It's sad about Cosby, though. I mean, I can't even believe this shit really. I don't even know if I can say. Oh, we're in serious,
come
right?
on.
Yeah, you're on serious.
I can't even believe this shit really happened, to be honest with you. But it's funny that when we're exposed to how nasty this is, and then we get candidates like Trump, who to me, that's like porn politics.
Porn politics.
It is. Trump is like porn politics. And he's almost like a hip-hop candidate in some ways, because it's ironic that Kanye is running. I mean, Trump, all he talks about is his bling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he puts forward. He always has a beef with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
That's
an East
hip-hop.
Coast, West Coast type of thing. There's always something going on with Trump. You know, he's got his own vodka. You know, he's got his own jet.
Yeah.
He's like P. Diddy or something. something like that.
Shitting on women all the time too.
Yeah, I don't even know what is up with that. And he gets away with it. Not only that, his polls rise every time he does something like that would damage anybody else. If he had the Cosby legacy, he'd be president right now.
He'd be president right now, right?
Exactly.
But people are, you have to take them seriously now, right?
I guess. I mean, we haven't started voting yet, so who knows, you know? But I've never seen anything like this. I can't even remember a candidate that has been like this, where every time you think he's done, it's the opposite. He gets more popular. I personally think it's a reaction to Obama. I really do. I call it the unblackening on my show.
The unblackening.
America is so excited to unblacken the White House right now.
That's anybody can get in there.
Exactly, because the White House is like off-white right now.
Yeah,
you know? It's not even the White House anymore. So there's such this energy to unblacken right now. You know, Trump just say what we don't give a shit. Trump just say what he want. Yeah, Mexicans are rapists. Good. That sounds good to me. Let's just get that brother out of the White House.
That's all it takes.
I agree, because I think people are looking at him as a person and not as a politician. And I think if he was viewed as a politician, he would be in trouble. But
Absolutely.
the fact that it's Donald Trump, so you just let him get away with mad shit that people would not be, a politician would not be able to get away with. It's going to be interesting.
And people also just want to be entertained more than educated, I think, as a whole.
I think you're right about that. And people focus on things like, well, he speaks his mind.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Well, who cares if he speaks his mind?
Good. Not all minds are created equally.
Charles Manson spoke his mind. But his mind was crazy. You know, we don't need him running the country. How about saying the right things? How about leading?
Yeah.
You know, how about those types of qualities to be president? But I don't need somebody to speak their mind. You go to any barbershop, people are going to speak their mind.
Yeah, right? That's true. That's a good point. But you don't want them to run the country. All right. Larry Wilmore is here. I'm going to take some phone calls, 888-742-3345. And we got more Celebrity Wire.
Yeah, we got to talk about someone who threw a tantrum right when they were performing.
Shay 45.
Maybe don't say he's far from finished.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Larry Wilmore is here. Shows on Comedy Central on Monday through Thursday, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central Time. When I'm looking at your accolades, the Bernie Mac Show, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, In Living Color, Larry Wilmore's Race, Religion, and Sex. I mean, the list goes on. Blackish, executive producer. Congratulations.
Yeah.
By the way, Anthony Anderson's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, Anthony, I've known him for years.
Matter of fact, your whole cast is a good friend of ours.
Yeah, that is an amazing cast. When we were putting that together, the cast really made that show, I mean, special from the beginning. The fact that Lawrence Fishburne would sign on to do something like that, right there, you're like, okay, this is going to be nice, you know. And when we were casting the wife, we looked at a lot of people, but as soon as Tracy walked in that door, we were like, it's got to be this. Those two together, the magic that they created was unbelievable. And I always say Tracy, to me, is one of those people, she was hiding in plain sight. Like, I like when America discovers somebody who we know has been around for a while. There's a term called Columbusing, you know. It's like
Columbusing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when the rest of America discovers something that everybody else is known for.
Been here for years.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed Blackish.
This show, is it accomplishing what you set out to do?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, the show evolves over time. It started, it was Jon Stewart's idea. The original name of the show was The Minority Report. And John just came to me, he said, Larry, look, I get a lot of videotapes and I see a lot of audition tapes of people who aren't on television right now, who he felt are underrepresented. And he said, it would be great if there were a show where we could have some of these voices on TV, you know. And he thought of a format where there would be a panel discussion and you know, but it would be a little more real. And he said, I think you should do it. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And it was really his vision that kind of started it. We had talked years ago about kind of doing something, but it was when Stephen Colbert decided to do take over for David Letterman. Jon Stewart thought that was a good opportunity to try something like this. So God bless him, man. It came from John first, and we both collaborated on it and made this happen.
Why did he stop? Why did John stop?
I think he was just done. I mean, he had done it for 16 years.
Yeah.
You know? And his children are at an age now where he really wants to be there more. They're like 9 and 10 years old. And I think he just wants to do something different. He just wants to move on. I think he felt like he hung out at the high school too long, you know, and from a creative standpoint. John still has a lot to offer in that, but I understand. He just felt like he needed to move on.
Move on. Let me ask you, man. How often, like, I'm sure you get a lot of viewer mail or on your social media, you get a lot of response. How often are you called nigger? You know, based on your show. How often you get that kind of backlash?
Well, sometimes there's more creative ways to make that accusation. Let's just say, you know. I've dealt with that my whole career, to be honest with you, in different forms. I started as a stand-up in the 80s, worked on shows like, you know, Living Color, that kind of stuff. And people, it's funny, when they don't like what you do, they have to reduce, you know, their accusations to that type of thing. But this show was a little different. This show provoked people on both sides of the spectrum because we were tackling difficult issues. But people, rather than that, they'll call you, like, if we're doing a show on transgender, now you're transphobic, you know, if you're doing, you know, you're talking about women's issues. Well, what are you, anti-women's? No, we're just talking about the issues. But people call me a race baiter because I'm talking about race. It's like, no, we have talked so long that we wanted to have a conversation about race. I'm not a race baiter. I'm a race talker. I'm talking about race. I'm having that conversation. You may not agree with it, but that's why we're having the conversation. If we all agreed, we wouldn't need to have the conversation. Yeah.
Did you speak on the when Dylan Roof came in and killed all those?
Absolutely. That was a really tough show because, well, first of all, there's nothing funny about that situation.
How did you tackle that?
Well, part of my show is not only finding humor in situations, but finding the humanity. You know, and having clarity with discussing the humanity of something. And it's part of our mission statement is we're going to keep it 100. That's what we're going to do. And we even had a game, keeping it 100 and that kind of stuff. So to me, I was really upset by the coverage that Fox News had about it. And they focused on the religious aspect, that this was a religious liberty situation. And it was not. This man clearly said he killed these people because they were black. And Fox had already gone out of their way to dismiss a lot of these cop killings and a lot of these killings of unarmed black men and dismiss them as one-offs. And we shouldn't be focused on this. We're too focused on race. And then when something that was specifically about race happened, and to dismiss it. And by the way, we should take an assault on religion very seriously. But this was an assault on race, and it happened in a church. Now, for me, I'm 53 years old. I don't remember when it happened, but I was very aware of the church bombings that happened in the early 60s. Because I came up in that time when those young girls were killed in that. Not only those young girls, there were about 40 or 50 of those church bombings that same year. That just happened to be the biggest one. A lot of people don't even realize that. Exactly. People forget history very fast. And those people back then, they made no bones about it. I said this in my monologue. They owned the fact that it was about race. That, no. We killed them because they were black. This ain't about religion, you know. So I wanted to make it clear that when that happens, we got to own it, and we have to go from there. You know, there's no reason to try to dismiss that. So it was taking that, and in attacking Fox, I found some humor out of that. But the humor that day came out of the humanity and the fact that, you know, I was so exasperated and couldn't believe that they would actually go down that road. It was an amazing episode, actually.
Larry Wilmore has joined us. We're going to take a few of your phone calls. We got AJ from Atlanta on the line.
Hey,
what up, AJ?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man? What you like to say to Larry?
Hey, I just want to say, man, I think Donald Trump will be good. That's it, man. You know what I mean? He about his business. He's a billionaire. You know, he not scripted. He say what's on his mind. I think that's what we need in the White House. You know, all these puppets that we got in here now. You know what I mean? So I'll vote for him myself.
Okay, all right. You'll vote for him. Was that a question for Larry, or you just a comment?
Yeah, I was just making a comment.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, great.
Add to the combo.
Everybody has a comment. Q from Detroit.
Hey, Q.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike, man, not Q.
My bad.
It's all good. Hey, man, first of all, man, don't put no dumbass people like that on here again, man. Larry.
Hey, but listen, Mike. Dumb people,
I know what you're about to say.
They have a right to speak too, man. That's right.
I know what you're about to say, Sway, but for real, this is about my man.
Yeah.
You better cut that out, dude. Get out of here. Anyway, Larry Midas Wilmore.
Hey,
man,
what's up,
everything
Mike?
you touch turned to gold, man.
Oh, that's very nice.
I got to tell you, I appreciate you growing up as a young cat, watching Living Color, what you're doing with Blackish, even your show now, man. I love the high comedy. I appreciate everything that you bring to the entertainment world because we're lacking it right now, and we're really lacking it from, as Sway said earlier, from our African American brothers out here. So, keep it up, man.
Thank you.
I love you. I try to support you as much as I can.
Thanks, man. I love you too.
But great job, man. We definitely love you, man.
I appreciate it. And one of the things that I'm always been passionate about is like I know Shonda, we've talked about these types of things. We're both on the board of the Writers Guild Foundation, and I've always tried to get involved in those organizations, try to get people behind the scenes and how important that is, and get people hiring and making those decisions. I'm right now I'm working on a pilot for HBO with Issa Rae.
Okay.
And we're doing a little, I don't know, kind of a bigger version of Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. I'm very excited about that. It's called Insecure.
Dope.
So we're shooting that right now.
Okay, that's interesting. You should say that because Heather B's an actress. There you go. And
She's a black girl.
Black.
A little awkward.
A little awkward about it. But Heather's good at making people feel awkward. So that's
even better.
Yeah, you know,
that's a gift.
That's right.
It is a gift. That's what I take pride in. Like,
I love that. I love that.
Like when the dude asked me to dance on the dance floor, and he comes out, I'll just start doing jumping jacks.
That's fair.
You need that. Right. You need that on your show, Larry. All right.
I think that's great. Burpees would make me awkward though. Jumping jacks, I wouldn't be awkward around.
Burpees.
If you started doing burpees, then
drop it down low.
You know what a burpee is, Heather?
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Burpees is when the jumping jacks when you do the burpees is when you do that, and then you get down on the ground.
And
then pop back up.
Cool. I can't. If I got down there, I ain't getting back up.
You know, Larry, I appreciate this conversation we're having, but we have some stuff that is more important to the listeners to talk about right now, and it comes in the form of whom?
Justin Bieber.
Man. Okay, we got to bring it home, Larry. This is it, baby. This is it.
What's up with the
Super
beat?
salient issue. You know, Justin, the boy is just always stumbling. Like, I feel he's in this constant state of attempted redemption.
Yeah.
And now folks are pretty much wagging their fingers at him because of what's being called a mini tantrum. That happened during a performance on the Today Show. So I'm just going to have you listen to it for yourself.
Dance, because the camera's right here the whole time. Might as well not even dance. What do I do this for?
So he said the camera's there the whole time. I might as well not dance. That's what he moaned out. And then it went into, what do I even do this for? And we didn't hear the rest of his quote because they cut to a commercial break.
Was that during the performance?
Yeah.
He just had a meltdown on the Today Show?
Yeah, bite-sized version.
I think it's time for him to run for president. I think he get elected. I think AJ in Atlanta would be voting for him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, AJ. Yeah, AJ will get a vote.
Yo, man, Beebs, you got to run with Trump, man.
You speaking your mind.
Yeah, speaking your mind. You melting down on TV. We need that in America.
Yo, the funniest part about that is while he's talking in his mic, you can hear his vocals in the background, right?
Oh, really?
Play it again.
Dance, because the camera's right here the whole time. Might as well not even dance.
Who's that singing in the background? That's hilarious. It's like a ventriloquist.
Backtrack. Everybody got to backtrack, though, to be fair.
Yeah. Larry, thank you for coming by, man. All right. Appreciate you, man. Absolutely. We'll keep watching, too. Thursday nights, Comedy Central, 11:30 Eastern. Well, Larry Wilmore, and you're a citizen, bro.
A Sway in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45. Kilo.